This robot has extendable limbs, 360-degree rotation, talons for fingers, and it's made entirely from junk mail and scrap paper. I'm going to show you exactly how I built it, so let's get into it. I got started by pulling out my hard, cylindrical doggy poop bag tube and tried wrapping cardstock around it. But cardstock doesn't wrap around hard, cylindrical objects very well, and the ridges prevented a smooth shape. So I cut out 11 inches of fun from a junk mail letter and worked it around the shaft of a ballpoint pen. I locked it in with CA glue, and it's exactly the start I wanted. I added glue on the tips, and just the tips, to hold it firm. I rolled a second tube and folded in the end so I could glue it cleanly onto its buddy. Normally, I would add another tube to complete an I-beam, but I wanted rotation at the waist. I rolled one tube on a pen, another on a mascara wand for a slightly different girth, rubbed down the tip, and glued them together. It was a little tight at first, but the fit was perfect. And now we have a new set of features.
Features unlocked.
I like where this is going, so I make them hard by bathing them in thin viscosity CA glue. Drizzle on that cold hardening liquid, wear a respirator in a well-ventilated area, and let that juice work. Once hardened, I grind on these pieces to smooth out the edges and release any tension to make a precise fit. And this is the core process for every piece moving forward. Roll paper beads or tubes, make things hard, rub things out. You'll see it a lot. But now we need to figure out what to do for the rest of the body. And my first idea was to set up some balls and socket joints for the arms and legs. I rolled thin paper on a mascara wand to form cylindrical beads, pushed out the inner workings, made them hard, glued two of them together to make a round bead, and worked through a laborious process to get the right shape. A thin tube formed from a Q-tip shaft fits inside the bead, and that's one of your balls. For the upper legs, I wrapped several layers of paper to form a cylindrical disc, glued in a smaller tube and bead, then wrapped it, shaped it, glued it, hardened it. For the lower legs and feet, it's the same bead and tube process, but with a new twist. Hinges made from scrap cardstock. I cut 8 cardstock pieces with matching shapes and holes, glued them in 4 pairs, and attached 2 pairs to the paper bead. A thin tube formed the joint to the upper leg, and I had 2 shafts team up to link these beads together. Then I hardened everything. Everything. But now I needed to connect the leg to the foot. I used scrap cardstock to create a hinge, drafting and cutting out the main piece and reinforcing it with additional scraps. Once assembled, you know what time it is. Once I glued the hinges to the feet, the legs were done. The cool part, the joints can face either forward or backward.
Feature unlocked.
In the animal kingdom, forward-facing leg joints improve balance and climbing, while backward-facing joints enhance speed and jumping. These concepts shaped this robot's personality. For the Valentine's Day theme of this build, I imagined him as a relationship therapist, a cute, well-meaning robot who isn't great with couples. But with legs like these, there's gotta be another side to him.
Background unlocked.
With the legs fully assembled and functional, it's time to tackle the arms. At this point, I've made so many paper beads and tubes, I'm considering switching careers. But this time, I'm working with a super thin paper tube, which honestly freaks me out. Soaking it in CA glue makes it hard, but also makes it brittle. And you never want that. You never want your piece snapping off. ever. So I drill a hole in the disc, insert the tube, and then harden the whole thing in the hope that it will never break off. Next, I form a tube around a tube, drill into a longer bead, insert the tube for the glue up, and sand down the bead closer to the girth of the tube. And just like that, I've got an arm that can rotate a full 360 degrees and lengthens.
Features unlocked.
But the arm's range of motion is terrible. I'd imagined it would be fine. It wasn't. To fix it, I combined a new tube that can slide into the main body with a hinge joint. Two very thin disc beads with large holes are glued to the tube's end, and I made them all hard, all of them. I finished off by connecting a new bead with an inserted tube lever, giving me a shoulder that rotates a full 360 degrees.
Feature unlocked.
The forearms used previous hinge and tube methods, but for the hands, I wanted a unique twist. There's a bead around the forearm's end. I cap it up with cardstock and make it CA glue strong. I also got him fingered. 3 digits cut and glued into talon-like forms. They all got the hard juice. Once assembled, think firm gripping talons with wrists that can twist.
Features unlocked.
To drive home that he's more than just a relationship therapist, I gave him blasters. Made from paper tubes, beads, and cardstock, we have both a hand blaster that vaguely resembles a Luger and a completely original blaster rifle. Both just look really cool.
Background unlocked.
We are done with the arms. It's time for head. I built a small platform atop the body, a tube as a socket with a slit in the back, and a round paper bead with an inner tube inserted to be the head. That slit in the socket lets the head turn back a full 90 degrees, allowing the body to transition into quadrupedal movement with its head still facing forwards.
Feature unlocked.
So in my head, if this robot moves 20 miles per hour bipedally with forward-facing joints, it will hit 30 miles per hour with its joints reversed, and then 60 miles per hour in full quadrupedal mode. But now I'm not liking the look, so I reworked the torso to include a place for the head in the main tube, and hardened everything. For the actual head, I started with tube-like features, a conical bead at the bottom, a cylindrical bead on top, everything hardened. I drilled eye sockets and fully inserted the tubes for a pleasant appearance, which is ideal for a relationship therapist named Love Doctor Number 9.
Background unlocked.
Oh, hey, guy. I can help you with the marriage.
I capped the head with a bowl-shaped disc bead, then hardened it and smoothed it out. And we now have a unique turning head.
Features unlocked.
I pretty much made a robot that has features of IG-11 from The Mandalorian. So I'm done with head. This thing looks amazing, but the torso looks a little thin. So I bulked it up by stacking and gluing pieces of cardstock to shape out. I dropped the big ring in the center of the chest for some extra flair, then made it into a uniform piece with texture using Mod Podge and toilet paper. Spoiler alert, I didn't like how it turned out. I tried to accept it as a happy accident, but I didn't do anything about it for now. But hey, look over here. Let's move on to detailing. Most of the work is placing pieces and hardening stuff, but the legs got the most creative treatment. For funsies, I wrapped a thin sheet of paper around his leg like a little bandage, though it does make you wonder, Why does this robot even need a bandage? Finally, I topped him off with some bat ears on his head.
Feature unlocked.
And this is what we have. He came out pretty good. Just don't look at the torso. But now it's time to take him outside to prime. For the face, I skipped primer and went straight for a matte varnish to keep that gray tone. Same thing on the crotch. I wanted to preserve the number 3814, like a little decal. And yeah, what does 3814 mean? That's for you to decide. Write what you think it means in the comments. While the robot dried, I built the base. It's a Valentine's Day build, so it's heart-shaped. I cut a heart from a test print on a greeting card I designed, embedded magnets in a second layer on top of an outline of a heart, filled the gaps with paper beads, sealed everything with CA glue and baking soda, and sanded it smooth. Afterwards, I attached the other side of the heart, reinforced the edges with a paper wrap, and made it solid. I cut out 2 more hearts, one as an extra layer, and another to be a visible surface where I flared out bullet holes, crystallized them, and finished it off with Mod Podge. Then I routed out holes in each foot for zinc washers so the robot can stand on the base magnetically. There are some dead zones in there, but it works. I paint the base and add 3 layers of Mod Podge to protect it from the robot's feet. Now it's time to paint the robot. I went with Skeleton Horde and Flesh Terror's Red and just dove in. You know that moment where you prime your model and think, this looks amazing, and then you start painting and instantly regret everything? Well, the feet looked like tiny race cars, the legs like chicken bones, and the torso, muddy melted goop with a freaking red Fruit Loop stuck in it. Every build has a "what have I done" phase. This was mine. But I also acknowledge that I need quantity to get to quality. For where I'm at right now, I'm doing okay. I hit it with Nuln Oil for weathering, which, by the way, is not an actual oil. And it dried really fast for me. Let's just say the robot's backside ended up with a generous oil spot. Next, first time putting on a decal. I printed a bunch of 9s on junk mail, cut one with the largest border out, and then I accidentally cut into it. It's like, well, I cut out a second number 9 and left in some of the white to make sure the black border pops. I sealed it with Mod Podge and it came out great. Since I was layering Mod Podge on the 9, I added some extra layers to the feet since they'll be rubbing on the base plate. I printed out another label for the foot to highlight one of this video's themes. So there's one feature I want to add in before I insert pins to connect all the parts together. Since the hands can detach from the arms, I decided to turn one into a grappling hook. I grabbed some string and started stringing it all together. And it looks awesome. But you know what's better than one grappling hook? Two grappling hooks.
Feature unlocked.
But this torso is still nagging me like a progress bar stuck at 99%. So I filed it down and added more definition, layered new pieces on the front and on the back, primed it again, repainted, scratched in some chipping with my fingernails. Then I had this idea to drill 2 blast marks in the back. I painted them with rattling grime, added Tamiya's suit around the blast marks for a nice effect, and sealed everything with matte varnish. And that's it! Just in time too, because this bench is a complete disaster. Holy moly. So this build fought me a little, but I learned a lot. Skills I can carry into the next build, all from a resource I get in the mail every day. But before we get into the glamour shots, let's put up some other interesting lore tidbits and burning questions for you to answer in the comments. One thing I kept wondering during this build was, where does he stash his weapons while moving around? It kind of happened by accident, but I ended up making one leg plate different from the other. The plate on the right leg revealed a spot that works perfectly as an electromagnetic holster for his hand blaster. And the greeblies I added on his back can be a holster for his blaster rifle. I also learned that the robot still looks good without its head. And let's say the greeblies that look like an emblem on his chest are sensors.
Features unlocked.
Burning questions to help build this robot story. He's a relationship therapist by day, but what's his gig at night? Why does he have a bandage on his leg? What's the meaning of the number 3814 on his crotch? The chest feature looks like an emblem. What does it represent? His legs look like chicken bones. Is he made out of bone? If so, what kind of fantastical creature? If not, what material is he made of? How old is this robot? Does he work for an organization? If so, what kind? Were there any other moments during this build that inspired additional story ideas? Feel free to drop any ideas for any of the questions in the comments below. And if you're counting, here's how many times I said hard, harden, or hardening. And here, finally, are the glamour shots. And that's Love Doctor number 9. Junk mail, scrap paper, and way too much CA glue. But we still don't know what his night job is or what 3814 means. Drop your theories below. You're building this story with me, and subscribe for part 2 because it's going to get wild. See you in the next one.